Say hi to Bill Squire. He's right over there.
Creepy hugs.
Hey, Mary Santora's here, too.
What up?
Poundcake's back in Studio G.
Afternoon, white people.
Anything, did you get in any trouble at BuzzardFest, Poundcake? Did you get anybody to risk it all, or?
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, all right. Well, one for lack of trying, right?
I didn't really try that hard, but I was enjoying it. I mean, I watched Gavin Rosdale. I was ready to risk it all, but he had a lot of other offers other than me.
Boy, did he. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think everybody's still kind of on a BuzzardFest high. I mean, it was such a fun. 800-348-1007. 35192 if you want to send me a text. AlanCoxShow.com for all the other stuff. Who's helping out today, by the way, before we get going here on the broadcast? Poppy Guflavin. All right, well, good. I like that there's an equal division of labor between guys who help and women who help. I like the guy who walked up to me. You know, we got to meet a lot of you guys coming out to BuzzardFest, and there was a guy who walks up to me and he goes, I'm going to say something to you that no one has ever said before. And I go, okay, I said it's a very, very short list, but shoot. And he goes, I worked with both of your brothers. And I was like, oh, my God.
That is a wild thing.
Oh, my God, really? I'm like, here's a guy from Illinois who is now in Ohio, stumbled onto the show, and is out here now at BuzzardFest. I go, well, you are right. No one's ever said that to me before here. I said, tell me the story. And he goes, well, I worked with Rob in Westlake. And I go, those are not my brothers. And so it turns out I thought that he knew who I was and worked with my brothers. Turns out that he didn't know who I was. He just thought I looked exactly like those guys he worked with. I go, those are not my brothers. I said, but you know what? You're right. No one's ever said that to me before, so you're still not wrong. It's just, and he was very embarrassed, and he kind of slinked off. But for a half a second there, because my younger brother was in town this weekend. And so I was getting, as soon as this guy said that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a story for my brother. It's gonna be great. And then he starts talking. I go, nope. Let me stop you right there. Those are not my brothers. My entire family lives in Illinois. No, and because they always go, are you sure? That's the
For sure I know where my brothers
Listen,
live.
it's the converse to you never asking follow-up questions, Mary. Here's a guy where I give him unequivocal proof that he's not correct. And he goes, are you sure? Are you sure I didn't work with your brother, Rob, that you don't have in a city he doesn't live? I said, I am absolutely correct in telling you that you did not work with either of my brothers. But boy, for a split second there, I was like, ooh, we're going to have a little conversation here. My other favorite conversation of BuzzardFest, or one of them, was with the road manager for Incubus. Is a lovely young lady, and in between the interviews I was doing with the bands, we were doing meet and greets behind the broadcast area. So if you were just walking by, you couldn't see it, because obviously that's something that you kind of want to obscure for people who weren't part of the, who hadn't won a meet and greet. And so Incubus as a band is very, very, well, Brandon Boyd is very, very press shy. And so I don't know if he doesn't do interviews, and he doesn't, and so, so they'll give me Chris Kilmore. I've spoken to Chris over a bunch of years. He's the guy that draws the short straw when it comes to doing interviews for Incubus. He's their DJ. Very nice guy. He's a Pittsburgh native. I mean, but he's 9 times out of 10, he's the guy that you'll end up talking to, and he couldn't be nicer. So there's no problem there. So I'm standing there as they're doing the meet and greet with our listeners, and there's a line, and they're letting people through. And this young lady, who I think is their road manager or tour manager, something like that, young lady, she's got a headset on. She goes, and what are you going to be talking to Chris about? I go, I don't know. We're just gonna, chat, whatever. We'll sit down and we'll figure it out. We'll talk some. She goes, yeah, I'm really going to need to know. And I go, I said, I'm not like a gotcha guy. I'm not like a, hey, so I said, we're just going to talk. And she goes, I want to prep him. Can you give me like 2 things, just 2 things? And I go, I'm like at a loss for words, because I can't believe that she's really, I go, I don't know. And she goes, just so I can tell him, just 2 things. I go, and then she gets a little snippy. She goes, like books, dogs, what? And I go, yeah, books and dogs are what I'm going to talk to him about. And she goes, really? Are you messing with me? I go, I'm messing with you. I'm going to talk to the DJ from Incubus for 10 minutes, and trust me, it'll be fine. And then I think she goes, oh, I go, fine. How's it going, and what's happening after the show? You know, I just threw these two, but boy, because she's doing her job too, right? They're so used to doing these things, they don't want something coming at them. But I'm like, literally, I'm not some guy that's going to like digs, I found this from 1999, and how do you, I'm like, he's not in a political campaign. He's the DJ for Incubus. But anyway, everybody was a lot of fun. Phil Turn, Gavin Rossdale, and Eddie Kowalczyk from Live. Talked to him for a little bit. It was great. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad so many people showed up. And the weather was awesome. It was a great night.
I had a blast.
Yeah, it was a
It
lot
was
of
so
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Mary going to a rock show. I was thinking maybe she'd show up in all black with cat eye makeup and her hair all teased like she did for Fall Out Boy. But no.
I wore my green little bodysuit.
Yeah.
That fits. I told Brian, I was like,
I'm glad you wore a bodysuit that fits.
I was like, because I bought it for the taping that's coming out later this year, and it was quite a bit tighter in June. So I was like, maybe I've been dieting and exercising for a few weeks. So when I put it on that morning, I was like feeling myself, but I didn't want to wear a bra with it, and I'm not a person who will often go out in public.
Oh, you were braless on Friday?
I was braless.
Oh,
because
wow.
it's like tight, you know what I mean? So I was like, I could wear it. But when I was in my house getting ready, I was nipping out, and I was like,
I was gonna say you don't want to be,
because I was like, oh, this is kind of a work event. I don't really need my nipples out, But then I was like, you know what? What's more rock and roll than nipples? Like, I should just
Nipples are pretty rock and roll.
I think so too.
I didn't
crack.
notice. I didn't really look, but I didn't really notice any nipples.
There weren't any because it was hot outside.
Oh,
it
I
was
see.
like 85 degrees and it was 70 in my house.
I
That's
see.
where the issue was. But yeah, I still did my little teased up bun. It was cool to hang out with everyone from MMS.
Yes.
Like us, RMG, Stansberry,
yeah,
like
Tony,
Keith,
yeah.
and like
so
everybody.
many messages from people like, do you guys in RMG get along? I'm like, yeah.
That
Well,
was
but-
probably my favorite part of the day.
But it's
was
also not
hanging
the
out
first
with
time that we've
everyone.
all hung out. It's
I
just
know.
that we're usually not at the same events.
But it's the first time we've all hung out in
a while.
a very long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But so
Well,
that was cool.
I mean, St. Patrick's Day, Dieter and Doogie and most of them were out for St. Patrick's
but not
Day.
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was there,
Right.
which was
was
felt
fun.
like a class reunion or something. I don't know. It was cool. I liked getting to know Carletta from GAR. Her and
Yeah,
I haven't
'cause they
talked
had
a
She
lot.
country
said she
jam
doesn't
the
like
next
you
day.
at all.
That's a lie. Because she commented on my reel
I know.
and was like, "Oh my god, I loved spending the day with you." So
She didn't like you at all.
you're a liar.
Wow. Putting on a brave face. Well, that's so nice of you.
But it was a cool day.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Very
It was a great
cool day.
time. Yep. Long day. But,
Long day.
but
I
it was
told-
a good day, yeah.
My two friends showed up, and my girlfriend, she's a big Incubus fan, so they were like, we're staying till the end. They live down the street from us. And I was like, oh, I'll give you a ride home. No problem. Like, don't even worry about it. I'll be here anyway. And then everybody started to leave, and it was like 9 o'clock. And I was like, oh, well, I don't want to stay by myself. Like, not that I didn't want to see Incubus, but she's like #1 fan, And so I made a rule for myself because no texts were going through. So I was like, okay.
Really? No
I
text
couldn't
were
get
going through?
any text to go through
Mine
to
were
like
fine.
anybody.
I was surprised.
Maybe you have
Yeah.
two different cell carriers.
My friend that was with me, her phone wasn't working either.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a lap through the crowd, and if I can find them in this 8,000 person Incubus crowd, I'm gonna tell them I'm leaving. But if not, then I'll just stay. Dude, when I say within maybe 3 or 4 minutes of me being in that crowd, I ran right into him, and I was like, okay, bye, get an Uber.
Okay.
I gotta go. I've been here since 2. Like, this is too much.
Yeah, I think the sales department was hanging around for a while.
Yeah,
But,
that's who I was hanging by.
And
Like
the
I was
VIP. Yeah, Poundcake was posted up with the muckety mucks. He's getting in there. See, now that he's this much closer to being Cleveland's best sports talker, by the way, he's
Don't forget the
kind of
boat.
he's going to
I'm a
be
company guy now.
yeah, and
He's
it's
not
okay.
gonna
I
be-
mean, this is how he makes his way. Maybe not in the way that he had anticipated, but this is how he gets in with the muckety mucks.
The future CEO of iHeartMedia, Poundcake. It all started when I
Yeah.
won Best Sports Talker.
Cody, iHeartMedia.
They
'cause
always
they make you
told-
change your name.
He's like, they always told me I was too reliable.
But honestly, though, like I was hanging out with, I was just chilling like all day. I didn't really, I watched the shows from the side, and I got like 5 minutes into watching Gavin Rossdale sing, like Bush sing, and then
I knew so many more of their songs than I thought.
My
I did.
ears started ringing because I was like that close to the speaker. Like I was like, all right, well, Bix, you better go sit down. So after that, I just kind of like grabbed. I think I bought like 2 drinks the entire day, and then everything else was just like kind of handed to me. So I was just sipping my drink, people watching, premier spot for people watching. Like the VIP booth, that was worth every cent that I mean, I didn't pay, but whoever bought it, like worth every penny.
Oh, God, somebody passed out. I got there right around a little bit before
I saw
noon.
that too.
Somebody passed out like 15 minutes after I got there in the VIP tent. They go to the bartender. Hey, our friend just passed out. I'm like, it's 12:15.
Like we didn't
you
even.
go
The
hard,
gates
dude.
weren't even open.
You got to pace yourself, man. But yeah, it was a good time. A lot of fun. So thanks for coming if you came. If
It
you
was a great
didn't,
time.
better luck next year.
Hey, next
Hopefully
year's
we'll do
gonna
it next
be
year.
Real fun.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I got to take a break here. I will have trips to Vegas for you. We got that iHeartRadio Music Festival coming up, so 5:30 all this week. Be a shot for you to get one of those trips to Vegas, by the way, to see a whole bunch.